Where are we? Oh, yes, the moon landing. The lighting guy bailed on us, but don't worry, we will handle it. Or at least, we will try our best. Lighting. The lighting will emphasize details and set the time and atmosphere in our scene. It is important that we switch the top left editor to render preview mode, so we can constantly see what we are doing with the lights. Let's create a new light on Add and Point Light, the most basic one. Lights. When a light object is selected, in its properties, in the properties editor, we can control many stuff. We can change the light type, its color, its intensity. The radius will determine whether the shadows are soft or sharp. Let's go over a few more parameters which are unique to each type. The point light. Shoot light rays in all directions evenly. It's good for imitating small lights like candles or light bulbs. Let's boost its power. 10 watts is too weak. If we change the radius, you will see that the shadows become softer as the radius increases, and sharper as it decreases. It is also possible to control the radius from its gizmo in the viewport. The area light will emit light orienting from a surface emitter, similar to light set used in photography and film. For this light type, we can determine its emitter shape: a square, a disc, an ellipse. These parameters can also be controlled from the gizmo in the viewport. The spot, similar to a spotlight or a stage light. The spot has a unique parameter: the radius of the light beam and how soft it is. The sun. Whoa! The sun isn't measured in watts, so we will quickly lower its intensity to 1. Hope you didn't lost your sight. The sun is a uniform light source whose position in the world doesn't matter, only its rotation. In the properties, we can define its angle in the sky, just like setting the daytime, sunrise, noon, and sunset, which will give us control between soft shadows, like at sunrise or at a cloudy day, and sharp shadows when the sun is in the middle of the sky. In our reference, we can see that there are very sharp shadows from one main source, and that is, of course, the sun. The shadows are sharp because there is no atmosphere to soften them, so we got out of this situation easily. Sun at the angle of 0, like a high noon sun. Even though we can call it done with just the sun, we will invest a little more in our shot. Still, the actors are here and they need to look good in our shot. There is a common method called 3-point light. It serves as a starting point for lighting a scene and demonstrate that just with 3 lights, we can produce a well-lit shot. Let's turn off the sunlight so we can focus on the new lights. The first is the key light, and it will serve as the main light source. We will create a new area type light. Direct it to our actor. Directly from the viewport, drag the yellow dot to the object we want to illuminate. We will not position the light at the same angle as the camera, as this would flatten the shot, similar to the effect of a photo with a flashlight. We need to focus not only on the lit areas, but also on the shadowed areas, which are equally important. This helps emphasize the 3-dimensionality of our object. The second role in the trio is the fill light. It will soften the shadows that are created by the key light. It should be subtle and can also be spiced with some color, creating an atmosphere. It is recommended from time to time to turn off other lights in order to focus on a specific light that we are adjusting, in order to see its effect. And of course, don't forget to name your lights. Last but not least is the rim light. It will help in separating our object, sorry, I didn't mean to objectify, from the background. We will place the light behind the actor. The spot will fit this task just right, because we will be able to control the radius of the light beam and not lit the floor at the same time, which will cause additional unwanted shadows. Beautiful, right? We have rim that emphasize the shape of the helmet. Let's turn on the rest of the lights, excluding the sun. The rim is a little too strong. Much better. And we can increase the key light a bit. Everything is a little too dark, and we don't have enough reflections to sell the feeling that we are indeed on the moon or in space. So we should get to know the world light. In material preview mode, there are several presets. We can control their intensity and rotation. Now there is ambient light in the scene. It's even possible to see it if we set it up. The scene seems to be inside this place, and it affects the lighting, the colors, and the reflections, like here on the helmet. But the world light from the presets in the material preview won't be rendered and won't appear in the final export. It is here for a quick preview purposes only, before we get deeper into details and determine our own world light. So we need to set our world light ourselves. From the moment we are in render preview, like here in the editor showing the camera view, We are actually using the light of the world, unlike Material Preview that doesn't use it. Of course, this can also be changed. We control the world lighting from the Properties editor in the tab of the red globe icon. World light is actually a material. We can increase its strength, and we can see the effect of its color too. But the color is uniformed and does not give the richness of working with textures. So we need to replace the color with a texture. But not just an ordinary texture, but images with a wide dynamic range, called HDRI. Change the surface from solid color to environment texture. You will see that we got a vivid pink color. And that's because we haven't chosen a texture yet. Click Open and select an HDRI file from the lesson folder. I will choose this space here in the middle. We got this space. We can see the Earth in the distance, and the Sun, and the whole galaxy. Already we feel our scene is much more present where we would like it to be. There are a lot more HDRI images on Polyheaven websites for free. We can indeed control the strength from here, but not the rotation, as we have here. Okay, take a deep breath and follow me. We will change the vector to mapping, and in the mapping vector, we will choose Generate. Sorry you had to go through this. By the way, after you will learn about the node editor in the next lesson, it will be much easier for you to set the world lighting. In any case, we now have control over the rotation. The z-axis usually is the one that will be useful for us. But in our case, as we are in space, you are welcome to go crazy with it. Now the world lighting is reflected in the shiny objects and affecting the overall lighting of the scene. You can delete the sun we created, because we have a real sun now. Do you remember from the render lesson that if you don't want to see the world behind and that it will not be rendered, in the render settings, in film, we can set it as transparent. But in our case, the background fit the scene just right. That's it. That's official. We are landed on the moon, and don't let anyone fool you. Happiness and light to all. See you in the next lesson.